on the Team Crushing It. Woohoo!
Welcome to the Team Crushing It podcast. This is your place, the place where we figure out how to be able to crush those obstacles in front of our goals, how to be able to crush those timelines, and how to be able to crush life. My name is Ojinga Carr. I'm a certified high performance coach. And for me, it's all about figuring out how it is that we can live our life better and how it is that we can do our business better. I've been on this journey learning, and I'm so excited about having this platform and having an opportunity to be able to share what it is that me and my clients have learned, what it is that we're putting in place. What are some of the tools of the highest performers in the world? I'm glad you're joining me here. You know, I want to talk about today about how we get our day started. How is it that we're preparing and moving through the day? So I'm going to give you a system right now that's going to help you set your day in the right way, going to help you make sure that you structure your week. As a matter of fact, I'm going to give you a framework that if you do this framework, you can tell whether you had a good week or not just by what your point system is. But first, I want to talk about how it is that I wake up. I call it the 420s. And no, I don't mean 420 or anything with that. The 420s, okay? And so when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I have, number one, is 20 ounces of water. All right, get my day started right, make sure I get those enzymes right. It sits right there next to my bed. In my weight loss journey, going through my life, water's been a big part of that. It was at one point in time where I was drinking 2 gallons of water a day. Now I drink about 1 gallon of water every day. And the water, though, to get started is just to kind of get your energy going. So 20 ounces of water each morning, all right? The second 20, and all of this is before I touch my electronics in the morning, because you have to understand that we are addicted to electronics and the things that it comes from and what it is that we do. So we want to make sure that we're getting our mind right. I have to get my mind right. I have to be focused and get my mind right in order to make sure that I'm going to be able to get the things done and I want to get done in my life, all right? So the second 20 is 20 minutes of body activation. So that body activation might be stretching, might be a little yoga, might be some Kajang. I never thought I was going to be a woo-woo guy in my life. Playing sports, I never thought that that would be where my life would be, that I'd be a woo-woo guy. But I'm not right if I don't get started with this process. So 20 minutes of stretching, body activation. Then 20 minutes of reading out of an actual book. Real pages. I've got all kinds of screens, right? I've got tablets, I've got computers, I've got my phone. If I try to read on those screens, read anything of any substance, what will happen is that one of those lovely pop-ups will pop up on that screen, and I'm like, squirrel. That's the way it goes, all right? Like squirrel, and I'm going in there, that's it, okay? And so we've got to make sure that we are focused. And so my focus is reading out of an actual book, really feeling the pages. And something inspirational is what I will read in the morning because I want to get my mind right. I want to make sure, hey, I'm ready for the day. I'm ready to be able to get things done. And then finally, the fourth 20 of those is 20 minutes of visualizing my day. Imagine you've got things that go on in your life. We got things that happen in our life that go on, right? But you have some things that go on that you already know are going to happen each day. You know you're going to be in traffic. You know you're going to do this with the kids. You know that you're going to have whatever situation it is there, right? So I visualize, how would I do those things well? How would I do those things well? How is it that I would be able to figure out how to do those things well? And so now, when those things happen in my life, I actually look at it and I am ready for it. You see, I'm an old sports guy. So in football, we used to practice the same plays, right? And we get ready for those plays. and we'd be ready to move, right? And so the thing is that when the game happened, it would feel like that the game slowed down, that the game would be in reverse, that it would be in slow motion maybe, because I had practiced it so much that I knew what was going to happen next. We must visualize our time in that same way. We must visualize our time in that same way. Visualize and look and say, okay, so if I know that I'm going to face this type of issue in a day, then I visualized how it is I would deal with it and how I would handle that well. So now it's not a surprise when this happens. Now it's not an issue when this happens. And we're ready to be able to roll and ready to be able to grow with it. You see, I do these things. That 420 is what I like to call my power hour. All right? It's a power hour. It's before I get up with my son, before I talk to anybody else. If I'm going to have a great day, it has to start there. It has to start with me focusing. First of all, physical, water. Physical, moving around, getting myself limber and ready to go. Then mental, reading, positivity that we have with that. Then also being able to understand and know what the issue is and know that. And then think about what might trip me up today. Have you ever thought about that? What might trip you up today? So put those thoughts into your head. Do it for a week. Just try it for a week. It'll change your life. I'm going to give you some more life-changing nuggets really soon. We're going to be right back, and we're going to talk about how it is that we make some shifts in our life. We'll be back with more of the Team Crushing It podcast.
It's a jungle out there in the business world. It's hard to stand out from all the other businesses that are doing things that are similar. But one thing we know, people buy from experts. It's time to show your expertise in your business by creating a book or a course that really shows your methodology and how it is you do things. Hit the link and let's create that today.
Welcome back to the Team Crushing It podcast. I hope that you really took notes and took time to pause and are looking at what we're talking about, because we're giving you things that will change your life. Look, that's the whole point. That's what I realized a long time ago in my life, that it was my duty and my honor to help other people realize their limitless potential while realizing my own. That's what it's about. And so with working with clients across the world, working with CEOs, working with people who are just getting started with their business, working with stay-at-home moms, all across the gamut, people have the same aspirations and they want to be able to figure out how to be able to have structure. And so we put together this tool, and I'm giving this away to you here, only here because you're here on the podcast. Just keep it between me and you. I'm giving this away to you. This is something that we charge a lot of money for with our clients. And it's called the Limitless Framework. So we already talked about the 420s. I've given you something to practice. Make sure that you go back and practice that you practice and do that. This is something that you can listen to over and over again. It'll be something that you'll be able to use, okay? But what I want to be able to talk about here is a framework that will make a difference in your life. Look, I'm a sports guy. You heard me say that already. This comes along with a scorecard. So you have a scorecard that speaks to what it is. You know, I'm a big believer in counting and looking. I come from a family of math teachers, so we believe that numbers never lie, and it's absolutely true. And so what I want to share with you here are 13 key tools, 13 key indicators that if you do these things, they can make a difference in your life, okay? So, first of the key indicators, and I'll just give you all 13 of them, all at one time. You'll see them pop up here on the screen. If you're listening out in podcast land and not watching the video, we'll have a download with this as well too, so you can get it and be able to have it, all right? But the 13 key indicators are sleep 7 hours, acts of random kindness, self-care, meditation, journaling, celebrating the wins, meeting your daily productivity goal, 5 daily refreshes, a daily water goal, living the limitless week. We'll speak to that a little bit as well too. Inspirational conversations, a daily reset, and physical activity. So these are 13 things that you can do in your life. You'll notice that these are not industry specific, that they're not specific to any sex, any gender, any race. These are human specific. We're talking about human specific goals, things that you can do in your life that will change your life and change your business. So let's hop into it. First of all, sleeping 7 hours a night. Look, I was a subscriber to the Rest When You're Dead. My coach in college, they used to come and wake us up during 2-a-days. And we would have, it'd be 6 o'clock in the morning. He had to drive this old pickup truck. And so you'd hear the pickup truck at 5:45 as he was driving up, because he was just excited to wake us up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And so he would just come on and bang on everybody's door, and you had to open the door up and open it all the way up and let him in. And he'd be like, burning daylight. That's what he said. Burning daylight. Rest when you're dead. And so I started to subscribe to that, because I can function on 3 hours of sleep, that means I'm good. I can actually do 3 hours of sleep. I can function on it. I must be great, right? And you have so many people. I love great motivational speakers who are out here who talk about that, we've got to cut, but you got to rest. What I have learned in my life is how important it is to be able to step back and rest. It's important for all of our mental and our physical sanity and for us to be able to move forward. It really is. You've got to rest. So literally, I know that many doctors even go to 8 to 9 hours a night. I'm just doing a minimum here. 7 hours. 7 hours of sleep per night. So we have a scorecard that goes along with this, right? So if you look at Sunday through Saturday, I was thinking about that. My son sings the days of the week, so I was literally in my head. There's Sunday, then there's Monday, there's Tuesday. Yeah, I know. All right. The joys of having a toddler around. That's what happens with that. So 7 hours of sleep. Okay. So on Sunday, if you slept 8 hours, then you give yourself a +1. If on Monday night you only slept 6 hours, you can give yourself a -1. And so that's the difference here that we're talking about with this, is that it makes a difference, because if you don't do it, you give yourself a -. And so it's important. We got to know. We got to know exactly how to be able to get this done, okay? And so if you don't do it, you put a minus down. If you do it, you put a plus. Now, I'll tell you this. For most of my clients, when we get started with this, no matter how high performing they are, when they get started with this situation, they end up in a negative on this scorecard. If you're doing it right, you're going to end up in a negative, because it's going to be a shock for you. You're going to be like, wow, okay. There's going to be something here that you don't do. There's going to be something here that you don't put together and that you don't get done. And so I spent a lot of time here on sleep for a second. And the reason why is because it's so vitally important. If I get 7 hours of sleep, I am a brand new person. I can actually function. And otherwise, I can function on a level, but I'm just functioning on a level. Don't we want higher performance? High performance is all about figuring out how we put that structure into our life. So we'll be back, and we'll talk about it soon.
It's a jungle out there in the business world. It's hard to stand out from all the other businesses that are doing things that are similar. But one thing we know, people buy from experts. It's time to show your expertise in your business by creating a book or a course that really shows your methodology and how it is you do things. Hit the link and let's create that today.
And welcome back to the Team Crushing It podcast. We're really talking about today how it is that we take over our daily life and how it is that we really crush our weekly goals in our weekly life. I'm sharing with you the Limitless framework. So I'm sharing with you the framework that I put together working with Fortune 500 CEOs, working with people who are just getting started with their business, working with stay-at-home moms. It really works for everyone across what we're doing here. And so I really love this framework. I really love it. And so we talked about the fact you need to be able to sleep 7 hours. The second piece of this framework is all about acts of random kindness. Acts of random kindness, okay? So what's an act of random kindness? We call them ARCs, acts of random kindness. What is an act of random kindness? It is paying for somebody's coffee behind you at Starbucks. It is helping somebody cross the road. It is doing things that are outside of what you have to do. It is about being a human being. I know it's strange, right? Being a human being, being human in what it is that we do and looking to do so. Here's the thing. Many of you I know are already generous, but what we do is we put a goal for you of that generosity. So we're talking about 3 acts of random kindness per week. So just like with the sleep, if you do not hit the acts of random kindness, you get negatives for that. So you need to be able to mark it down, need to be able to see it, and need to be able to figure out how we get that done, okay? So think about that. 3 a week. That's all I'm asking for you. I'm not asking you to do 20, just 3 a week. And that it'll make a shift. It'll make a change in what it is you're doing in your life, okay? And then the third one is self-care. We have to take care of ourselves. I cannot explain to you how important that is. So what this is doing is taking things that are in your life that you may be doing sometime already and now making them important. Because that is what we need in order for those things to be important, in order for us to make sure that we're getting those things done, okay? And so with self-care, it could be, for me, I love to cook on the grill. So self-care for me might be me just taking the time, trying out a new recipe, grilling it, doing whatever. It might be me just taking a walk, but it's something that is for me and me alone. Okay. And so can you do that? Can you find time for yourself? Many of us are laying out on the cross right now, and we are martyrs for everybody else in our life. Can you find time for yourself? Can we make sure that we get the things done that we need to get done? The fourth one is meditation. I never thought I would be a woo-woo guy, but I'll tell you, just taking a moment of meditation, just taking a breath, just doesn't that feel good? Take a moment. If you're not driving in your car right now, if you're listening to me, watching me, take a moment. Let's take a deep breath. That's because oxygen is kind of important. So when you take that moment and breathe and take that and meditate and find it, being able to have that oxygen, being able to take it in and do so, it's so valuable, so unbelievably valuable in your life, okay? And so we want to make sure that we are taking the time to breathe. So that meditation might be 5 minutes. There's things you can get off of YouTube. If you're new to the game, just find whatever kind of daily meditation and make it a habit. These are habits. Those habits will make a change in your life and make you and get you to the place where you need to be, okay? Then we want to look at how is it that we are journaling. So many of us, we take pictures of and we really snap all the negative things that go on in our life. But journaling is about, let me write down what happened today. What good happened today? What is a good thing that happened today? What is something with that? A great journaling exercise that I do with my clients is, first of all, we have them pick out 3 words that really represent who they are. And so I'll tell you this, for me, my 3 words are intentional, vibrant, and loving. So at the end of the day, I ask myself 3 questions. Was I intentional today? Was I vibrant today? Was I loving today? I'll journal about that. I'll write down and journal about that and look and see, did I do those things? Was I doing that? Okay. So then we look at how is it that we celebrate the wins? And remember, for that self-care, meditation, and journaling, those are one a day, every day. Okay. For celebrating the wins, I'm only asking you to do it one time a week. Just take a minute and say, what did I do good this week? We can recount all of the bad things it is that we've done in our life, all the negative, horrible things that have happened. Oh, it was awful. It was terrible. We can recount all of that, right? What's something negative? What's something great that happened today? What's something great that I did this week? Did I do the thing the right way? Did I do whatever it is? You know that you have things that you're doing well in your life. We just need to be reminded of them. And the thing is that you can be reminded of them. You can remind yourself of those things, okay? So that's really important, all right? And then we look at a daily productivity goal. So every day, what I want you to do is have 3 things that I want you to get done each day. 3 things. Just mark them down. Not 20 things, not 500 things, 3 things. What are the 3 most important things for me to get done each day? And when you accomplish those 3 things each day, give yourself a point. Daily productivity. You notice how far down we got in this list before we got to productivity? Do you know if you're human to people, that if you take care of yourself, you meditate, you journal, you celebrate the wins, the productivity will take care of itself. Okay? And so we look at that with the productivity goal. And then finally, another thing that I want to do here for this segment, I want to talk about 5 daily refreshes. So what is a refresh? A refresh is actually what it is I just showed you there. It's taking a deep breath. So taking that moment, taking a deep breath. I'm asking you to do that 5 times a day. I'm asking you to breathe. Breathe intentionally 5 times a day. That's all I'm asking you to do, all right? So look, we've got a few more things we want to talk about in this framework to be able to put together so we can really figure out how it is that we structure it and knock it out and make it happen. But these things are simple. As I say, success in life is simple. It's just not easy, all right? So we got to do these simple things that we do and figure out exactly how it is that we make it happen, exactly how it is that we get it done. All right. So we'll be back with more of this Team Crushing It podcast. Talk to you soon.
It's a jungle out there in the business world. It's hard to stand out from all the other businesses that are doing things that are similar. But one thing we know, people buy from experts. It's time to show your expertise in your business by creating a book or a course that really shows your methodology and how it is you do things. Hit the link and let's create that today.
And welcome back to the final segment of this Team Crushing It podcast. It's been all about your day, all about your week, all about you and the effect it is that you have in the world. Because look, if we can center ourselves, then we can have the right effect in our world. So it's about our framework that we're building for ourselves. We call it the Limitless framework. Because look, I told you, it's my motto that I'm going to help people realize their limitless potential while also realizing my own. That's the thing. I want to make sure that I can do that. So I say one of my favorite ones here in this bottom portion is the daily water goal. I am not a doctor. I do not play one on TV, okay? But I need for you to understand that water is important. I think that anyone will say that water is important. I know there is such a thing as water toxicity, that you can drink too much water. But I'll tell you that in my weight loss journey, the thing that really made it for me, the thing that helped me was the water. And so I drink a gallon of water a day. That's my daily water goal every day. And so when I hit that daily water goal, I give myself a point. So if you're not a water drinker, if you can just get that 8 ounces of water that we used to hear about in school, whatever that is, the 8 cups of 8 ounces of water. So 64 ounces of water, not 8 ounces. I know many of you are like, oh, hey, all I have to do is drink 8 ounces. That's cool. All right. But make sure with that. And we could do that and make sure that we get that 64 ounces of water. But I am not, let me be very clear. My lawyer says that I should say that I am not making a recommendation for you of how much water to drink. I'm just recommending that you have a goal. Have a goal. Figure out what it is you want to be able to do with that, all right? Then we call it the Limitless Week. So what is the Limitless Week? I am really big on naming conventions, all right? On naming conventions. And so with naming conventions, it's about being able to know what I want to do each day. So the Limitless Week, very quickly, is just having something to do each day in your week, all right? So Sunday is scheduled Sunday. For me, that's the day that I schedule out the things I need to get done, personally and professionally, all in one neat little calendar. I remember when we had Palm Pilots. I remember when I used to write everything down on paper. Yes, I'm a caveman. I'm that old to do that. But now we put it all in, color-coded, all in my phone with it, okay? So schedule Sunday. Monday's Magic Monday. For me on Magic Monday, it's about concentrating on finding clients in my business who can pay me 5 to 10 times what a normal client can pay me. So first of all, you need to understand, what does your normal client pay? What is your normal rate with that? And then we look at for people. So for me, it's corporate clients, working with corporate and organizations with that. Tuesday is Talk About It Tuesday. So Talk About It Tuesday, it is all about talking about my business to every person who I meet. So there's too many times that you will look and see your friend on Facebook buying something it is that you sell, and you are sad because they did not know you did it, okay? That's because we don't talk about it enough. It feels like because we're thinking about our business all the time that we are talking about it, but we're not. We're not talking about our business enough, so we want to make sure that we do that, okay? Then there is Work It Wednesday. Work It Wednesday is all about working in my business, not on my business. I know people talk about the reverse of that, but on Wednesday is the day that I make sure about personal development within my business. Let me make sure that I know what it is that I am talking about. And so that is really important for you to actually know what you're talking about if you're in business. This is for my business owners with that. And then Thursday is Together Thursday. That's the day it is that I concentrate on being able to figure out how it is that we can collaborate with other people. So we want to make sure we're collaborating, getting those things done, knocking it out. Then there is a Follow-Up Friday. On Follow-Up Friday, I follow up on all the things it is I missed. And Sanity Saturday is all about what can I do to be sane? What can I do to be sane? It's so important to be able to figure out what those things. So you see that all these things start to fall together and they start to work in conjunction with each other. That's the whole purpose of what we're doing here, okay? Then there is inspirational conversations. I'm just asking for you one time per week to inspire somebody. Listen to what it is that they are saying and be inspirational and follow up with them on it. You may do that more than one time a week. And guess what? If you do it more than one time a week, you can give yourself more than 1 point. So if you're having 5 inspirational conversations a week, great. Pick up some points there. The daily reset is the thing I told you about, where you sit down and you think about, was I these things today with that? And then finally, the physical activity, okay? So understand that with physical activity, I am not a doctor. Once again, I'm not telling you what type of activity to do, but it is good that you move. And so if that's getting out to walk or that's getting out to do whatever, it's the things that there's a mind-body process here that if we take care of our body, our mind will be better as well too. And so these both work together in union for us to be great. So I got to tell you, these 13 things are not new. They're just put together in a system and a framework for you. And so they're in this framework so that you can figure out how it is that you structure your life, how it is that you make sure that you're getting the things done that you get done in your life, and that we're getting those things knocked out. So I'm telling you, when you first get started, the first thing that'll happen once you do this is that you'll look at it and be like, wow, that's a lot of stuff. Take it slowly. You can see here there's an actual sheet of how to do it, to gamify with that, okay? Mark your points down. Don't get sad about what happens in the first week. Don't get too high about what happens in the first week either, because it's about consistency. Oh, that's an ugly word. We've got to be consistent in what we do. If you try this for a month, it will make a difference. If you try it for 3 months, it'll change your life. We've got 90 days to change our life. That's what it is. To be able to know, to be able to change our life. What is it that you really want to do in your life? What would change in your life if you got to a better place physically, mentally, spiritually, financially? That's the place where we are. And that's the place where we get to crush our goals. So happy to have you on the Team Crushing It podcast. We'll see you the next time. I'll talk to you soon. My name is Ojinga Carr, and I'm a certified high performance coach. See you soon.